Hey, I've been gone for a minute, but I'm here. And that's because I just finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I just want to talk about it before my thoughts leave. It's almost 1:30 in the morning. I just finished it maybe 30 minutes ago. And I just can't believe a game like this is even real. There's just so much game, and I'm not done. I have a whole hard mode, a new game plus to go through, more quests, more interactions to get with the different characters and things like that, and I genuinely just can't believe a game like this actually exists at the quality level it's at. It's mind-blowing. I'll get to all the spoilers at the end and let you know before I get into them, because I got a lot to say about all the different story content, but man, what a good just video game. I feel like I can't stop talking about just how many things you can actually do in this one game. I just finished the game and my in-game time was 84 hours. And that was doing almost everything as I went before continuing the story. The only time I didn't keep doing the side quest was at the very end, because I was too interested to see where the story went to stop into the side quest. I couldn't wait. I had to get rolling with that. In the beginning, it eases you into it because it's got to set up the story for later, so you're going through different stuff and getting, into the thick of it. But as soon as you're let go to kind of roam around, it immediately throws so much shit at you. It's like, here's all the shops, and here's a mini game you're going to be seeing over and over again. That's this little card game, and it is going to have its own crazy, wacky storyline. And then when you get to go free in the world, you have to go catch a chocobo so you can get around faster. While at the chocobo farm, there's these towers that activate like Ubisoft Assassin's Creed towers, and they show you all the different objectives around. Well, the different objectives around are different combat encounters that have rare enemy types that have certain circumstances you have to beat them under to fully complete them. And then there's things like these Moogles where you have to chase them back into their little pig pen because they're assholes. And there's all kinds of different exploration for like the summons, the divine gods. You learn a little bit of lore about them, and then you also power up your use of that divine god when you beat them in the combat simulator. And there's a combat simulator where you get to do different combat trials like a Colosseum in Kingdom Hearts or something. And the more you explore, the more you unlock as far as the combat trials. Then there's these stones you scan for lore, and when you scan all the stones, you get a super big boss combat encounter in the overworld in each area. And then you do all this stuff in one area, and then you do your story beat, which never misses. It's always some crazy shit. Like the very first big story beat before you go to the next area is this giant fucking snake, and that is just such a cool sequence. And then you get to the next area, and there's more stuff to do, and a lot of it is sort of the same thing. You have to go get the towers. Sometimes you have to go get the chocobo again. Sometimes they just give it to you. But the chocobo usually does something different. Like the one in the next area can climb walls. Later on, they can do all kinds of different stuff. And when you get to these new areas, it introduces even more stuff, because you had side quests in the last area, and then there's new ones, and they know not to waste your time, because that was a huge issue in the first game, was just wasting your time with shit that was kind of boring. And I feel like they really made sure that you were interested in the side quests and shit in this one, or to make them more interesting. But then you get to the second area, and there's different mini games and shit to do. Like there's a whole Clash Royale mini game, and then you beat all of that. It's hard as fuck, and then there's a hard mode just for fun, and you just walk around and just dig shit up to add to your collection. And later you get this whole collection where you gotta do everything to unlock all of it, like little achievements, but just for the game. And speaking of improvements over the past one, it's like they took any criticism from the first one and then just tried to immediately improve it. In the first game, which I played right before playing this to have it fresh on my mind, there were little things that were annoying, like when you're navigating the world. Of course, the first one is much more linear, and this one is an open world game. But when you're navigating, it's very sluggish. There would be lots of boxes they want you to slash open to collect so you heal and get magic back and stuff and different items. But when you hit the box, you would be forced to sit there while your guy puts his sword back on his back for a good couple seconds. And let's say you miss, well, you got to readjust and then hit again. Well, it's little stuff, but in this game, you can swing and then dodge roll out of it. You couldn't do that in the original. Or even in this, you can swing and then swing again, or you can move a lot faster in the first place. So little stuff like that around every corner is all I kept noticing when it came to just a fresh experience. One of the major issues I had with the first game was the dialogue. The way it was written was really rough in some spots. It felt embarrassing to watch by myself. And I think they really stepped it up. And again, I play these back to back, and there was a noticeable difference in the dialogue and characters' expressions that felt way less garbage in this one. I liked them a lot more. Of course, you still had certain characters in certain moments that were meant to be just awful in a way, or very goofy or cringy, whatever it is. And every time you got to an area and you thought, that's it, there can't be much more, they would just throw another area at you and another area at you. And then when you think you've explored all the areas, they throw like a new type of exploration, which I'll get into in a second. I just can't believe this game exists. And I'm kind of just taken aback by how the journey's been. And I think I'm going to give my initial thoughts in the beginning, and then in the morning kind of cobble them together and put in my renewed morning thoughts, because I'm quite tired. Hey, it's future me, and I'm here to interrupt before I start talking about spoilers and stuff. My thoughts were really, really scattered after I beat the game, because I was pretty tired as well. But I never took a chance to actually sit and get my thoughts out in a clearer, cleaner way versus what just played. Those are just my raw thoughts immediately after beating the game, pretty much. And this is days after. I think I beat it a week ago now, and I just haven't got back to recording. I've been so absorbed by this game, I finally had to just say I can't keep just playing this game, and that I'm going to have to go back to making videos, because that's what I like doing. I want to talk about the game, so I'm getting this out to sort of move on so I can get back in the flow of making videos again and things like that. And there should even be a new video up tomorrow as well, rad for this one. So overall, this is still not a review of the game. I will have a review of the game when I'm ready, and it's going to be much bigger and much more thought out, and I need to get more game footage. That's why the game footage doesn't really reflect what I'm talking about, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to change that or not, because I don't have footage for the latter half of the game, because I just started running out of storage on my PC, and I didn't want to buy another hard drive. So what I have is what I have, so I'm just kind of using whatever as background to listen to me talk about different aspects of the game. But overall, this game is just incredible. I genuinely think, at least so far, I beat the game, I'm doing the side quests that I missed, and I'm doing the extra objectives and things like that. And then eventually I'm going to go into hard mode and do all the combat simulator stuff, and just every little thing this game has, I am going to do. But man, what a game. This is just off the rip, I think this is one of the greatest games I've ever played. This is easily got to be in my top 5 by the time I'm finished, and Final Fantasy VII Remake was in my top 10 maybe when I finished. Now it's probably nowhere near there, because in comparison, Rebirth, it just blows it out of the water, like not even a question. And so what I had done right before playing Rebirth is I played through Final Fantasy VII Remake all the way through, and I skipped the side quest. I just did the main story, and I think I enjoyed the game a lot more. It felt weird not stopping to do all the side quests, but it made for a much more enjoyable experience and let me get down what I needed to get down so I can move on and go to Rebirth, because I didn't want to play Remake. I've already played Remake 100% when it came out, and I wasn't planning on doing that again. Not really. I mean, I could have, because I enjoy it a lot, but I really was just trying to get ready for Rebirth. And so I did that, and I think that made the experience all the better, because I got to make a lot of direct comparisons from one to the other, which really solidified Rebirth as a true sequel to Remake, innovating and continuing to evolve the gameplay in different formats in the first game. The first game had a lot of music, this one has more. The gameplay was smooth, the gameplay in this one's smoother. Just there was no exploration in the first one, well, this game's all about exploration. The dialogue was a little weird in the first one, well, guess what? We made it a little bit better, so your other people around you can watch it and not feel as bad for you. Overall, this game is genuinely unbelievable. I don't believe it's real. That's why this isn't a review, because this is completely... I'm just sort of speechless by what... No, thanks. I'm just sort of speechless by what the game actually is. I mean, it took me... I've never, I don't think, ever had a game take me 84 hours to beat. To finish it, just doing side quests as I go. I mean, I don't even think Final Fantasy 16 touched that, unless I'm totally crazy, and I did go past that, but I mean, this is insane, and I'm still going. I just pumped in like another 20 hours just doing side stuff, and I'm not even close to ready to start hard mode yet. Like, I'm just sort of speechless when I stop to really collect my thoughts about it, because I have no words. It's incredible. Genuinely just incredible. I'm going to let my 1:30 a.m. self go on about the spoilers. He's going to warn you all about them, so have fun with that guy. He was having some issues. But I do want to talk a little bit about the spoiler section. So this is your warning for spoilers right here. This is the very late night tired spoilers where I'm very tired and want to go to bed. But I'm going to talk about what I remember as best as I am able, can. Just a heads up, if you have not played this game, don't watch this part. It is worth playing, I promise. Don't watch this part if you have not played it. This is straight spoilers, I think. I don't really remember. We're going to find out. So I mentioned there's a different type of exploration that opens up later. Well, you start flying around from place to place because you can't walk there at certain points. Well, one time when you're flying, the jet doesn't do so good and it breaks and lands in the water. Well, you get to control it and drive to where you need to go. Well, that's not the end of it. When you drive to where you need to go, you can get back in it and then do this whole exploration thing where you go around and find treasure in different parts of this pirate thing and beat actual bosses to get the pieces of the pirate thing. And the bosses are hard as shit, which is why I haven't done it yet. And every area introduces some new gimmick with something called the Proto-Relic side quest thing. And they're usually interesting, but they're varied every time. To get into like the real heavy spoilers, I really liked the way the story was told. It felt like it wasn't super obvious, but it didn't feel like I didn't know what was happening. Because when you play something like Kingdom Hearts, I won't say the first one, let's say like the second one, you don't really know what's going on the first time you play through it, I don't think. And then maybe even the second time you're still a little confused. And that's because there's a whole other game explaining it. And that game series has a problem where you kind of need to play all of them over and over to really understand what's happening. And you still, no one fucking knows what's happening in those games, not even the maker. And the reason I bring up Kingdom Hearts is because it's the same creative director, I believe. Tetsuya Nomura had a huge hand in both of these projects, Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. And this story is so much more coherent, even compared to, I won't even say compared to the first Final Fantasy VII Remake, because, I mean, it was just set up for this one to have all the answers. But they did a really good job, I think, as far as if you played the first one and then played this one, you should be able to understand what's happening. But you also kind of need to have a brief knowledge of the original game. You have to know things like, and again, this is spoilers, you have to know the fact that Aerith dies in the original at a certain spot, even if you don't know exactly where it is, because I didn't know exactly where it was, but I knew it was coming. I knew the area. I've seen the cutscene. It's one of the most infamous moments in gaming. I've never even gotten there, but I understand that. And so the big contingent point for me playing through the game was, is she actually going to die? Which I guess she does, but Cloud is like fully psychosis instated by the end. This is the words I have at this late at night. By the end of the game, Cloud is like full on in a psychosis. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm very scared for the next game. I haven't really been playing many big games like this. I played Armored Core, and then before that I played Final Fantasy 16. And what's funny is when I finished Final Fantasy 16, I was very upset with the game. Because I felt it was very shallow by the end. And then playing this, I wanted to go back to 16. Like, not because I didn't want to play this, but it made me like remember the good shit I liked in 16. And I do like 16 a lot. It's like my favorite one. I think it is. And yeah, another thing too that is just completely mind-blowing, especially when you first start out the game, is the amount of songs in this soundtrack is just like never ending. It feels like they just never run out of a new song to play for you in a different area. It can be a slight variation of an area you're in, and they're like, oh, here's a remix of the last song, but it's like also an entirely different song. And it's like, this is fucking crazy. I've never seen such a diverse and just large soundtrack across the game, but it's also a very large game. And that just speaks for the details of the game. That's why I say I can't believe this game is real, because in all the minigames, even if the minigames kind of suck, they went all in on them. They took the idea as far as possible. Like with the Clash Royale, like it is a full like miniature version of Clash Royale, and you can play it. You can get good replay value if you're super into it. And there's one later that's, I don't even know if League of Legends is the right word, but you send things down lanes in 3 different ones around a boss, and like there's a lot of depth to that one. There's too much depth to that one for me. So I did the base ones, still haven't done the hard mode ones yet. And the card game, you can actually build like different types of decks It's really interesting how much they put into that card game. Like, it is a full card game. Like, if you printed sets of it, like, people could play it in person and it would just make sense. And what's interesting is I thought by the time I finished the game, I must have found most of the cards. Well, no, it turns out I found like half of them, and I still had a lot more to go. There's chocobo racing you're forced to do at some point, and you find out it's pretty smooth. It feels really good to race the chocobo around the track, and there's like different shit like Mario Kart, or it's more like Jack X Combat Racing or like Lego Racers, where there's different colored objects you pick up that give you different shit. So like I think the red one gives you a boost to use, or maybe that's the yellow one. The blue one makes you run faster just throughout the course of the race, and then I don't remember what the red one does. And there's ones that stop you too later on. And you think, oh, that was neat. Like, it felt really nice to play that mini game. And then you find out like there's a whole game of that. There's multiple tracks, there's multiple soundtracks, there's different cups, there's different leagues to the cups, and there's rewards for all of it, doing good in all of it. But there's like a whole game in a game, and that just happens over and over again. And there's so many times you just think like, man, there's just no way they kept adding, like, they can keep this up. They can keep adding more different things. And then you get to somewhere like Nibelheim where you're like, okay, I've seen Chocobo. I know Chocobo run. I know it climb up walls. I know they can fly, kind of, that kind of thing. And then they're like, what if it was Mario Sunshine? And you're like, I don't understand that, but I don't need to because it feels amazing. Like, this is awesome. And so I'm definitely gonna make sure to call this. This is not a review. This is expressing my thoughts. I don't know. Like, it's been my mind space for the past several weeks, maybe even a month. Yeah, it's almost been a month since the game came out, and it's just been my thought space because I needed to finish it so I could just keep doing something else. I haven't been able to even upload because I've been too busy playing this game. Yeah. I'll have to add the rest in the morning when I have my thoughts more coherent, but just what a good game as far as a video game. Like, as far as entertainment, video game, you pop it in, want things to do, like, this is that, like, perfectly. Like, it's unbelievable how much content can be in a single game. I mean, games are big nowadays, you know, they're almost 200 gigabytes, like, for Call of Duty or whatever. But I mean, you're not expecting anything more than couple different game modes, and now you can't even expect a campaign or zombies mode to be fully in depth, whatever. But this game is just as big as one of those, is what I mean. So you wouldn't think that inherently means anything, because it doesn't for the most part. But it's just like, it is packed full of every possible little thing they could even think of. It's incredible that a team was given so much freedom to make a game like this, because there's so much in this game that just there's no reason for it to be there, and it doesn't need to be there. Like, there's a lot of mini games, like a ton, and some of them, they all take it all the way. Even if it's a dumb idea, they won't like necessarily change it, but they'll take it all the way. If it's, you know, if it's luring chickens back to the chicken coop, it's really dumb and it sucks, and it's my least favorite one that I've played. But they took it all the way and made a full little thing out of it, and it was an awful side quest where you end up eating the chickens. I don't remember what I was saying. I think that's all I have. It's just, my mind's blown. It's also fried. So I'm going to pass it off to Morning Sunflower, and he's going to walk you through the rest of it. And I'm going to let him apologize for having not uploaded for almost a month now. Maybe it's been over a month. I don't even know. I have no clue. Who cares? I care. It's my channel. What do you want? It's my video. Go away. Okay, bye. Here's Morning Logan with a fresh mind. He's probably drank tea or something. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this and put any of this in the video, because that would suck if he put this in the video, because this was not a good part of the video. So yeah, maybe he'll have more coherent thoughts than me right now, the other guy. Yeah. And here I am to say, whoops, I haven't uploaded. Who could have saw that? I didn't even know I could not do that. I didn't even do that. I wasn't even me. And there's going to be more videos. In fact, there's a brand new one tomorrow. And that's why you should stick around, because I'm going to go make it right now. And it's going to come out. And it's going to be on time. And it won't be late. And you can count on that. Because when have I ever missed uploading? I'm that guy. I'm that guy.